we'll hopefully have people jump on and continue to join us as we go along. So for those of you that haven't been to a GTEAC Zoom call or in-person meeting, welcome. I am Rebecca Hughes. I am the new president for this year, and so I am glad to be here. Hopefully, my other officers are on. We only have so much room for panelists, so we've got our presenters and things on here, but I do want to make sure that I introduce our new board that was voted in at the end of last year. So we have got our vice president, who is Bill Sandera. We have got our treasurer, who is Jessica Ford. We have got our secretary, which is Marissa Austin. And then you can see Tracy Henn that is live on your camera. And we've separated out her role. So Tracy is now strictly going to take care of all our tech stuff. She's going to be our tech guru for us. And then we added in another position, which is historian, and Elizabeth Mendez took that role. And so she is going to be helping Tracy a little bit with social media and getting reminders and things out, but she's also going to be snagging photos when the kids go on field trips and when we're doing fun things. She'll be getting some of those photos, and she's going to be posting those as well as our events on Facebook, our Instagram, which she has just set up for us. Our Twitter is still there, and then she'll be helping out with the remind. So we are trying to get more communications out so you know what's going on with us, that you know more about us, and you don't know it yet, but we're going to talk a little bit more later on about a website, because I've been trying to do that for a while. So I think hopefully by the beginning of next year, we'll have a GTEAC website as well, that will have communications that way we can share back and forth with what's going on with the district as well, and just our own things. So look forward to that to come. We do have a new set of bylaws that we worked on, and we're probably going to post those there as well. We'll get those out. But most of the new stuff said, hey, we've got these new positions that we've created. We're going to do some new things with our 501 status. And so if you have questions about our bylaws or how we function as a group, certainly feel free to contact me and let me know. Next thing, we've got our next meeting is coming up November 9th. If you haven't seen those list of meetings to put them on your calendar, please go out to our social media pages. I think they're listed out there. I know for sure there are events out there on the Facebook page, and it'll give you all our upcoming dates. One of them that I know you guys won't want to miss is that our new superintendent is going to speak with us, and he will be with us in February. So we're really looking forward to that. It is going to be a combined meeting of being in person and on Zoom. So if you can't make it because traffic's bad or whatever's going on, you can always jump on Zoom, but he will also be there in person. So if you want to sit live and listen to what he has to say, we're really looking forward to that and feel privileged that he was able to give us that time. Next thing I wanted to tell you about is, if you are used to using Remind as the reminder for our meetings, we've had a lot of people that have been signing up. So we've flowed over into a second account and now a third account. So if for some reason you got a notification that you were being kicked off the Remind, it's because we had to start moving people over. And just to make sure that you continue to get those communications, you might want to go back out and rejoin by looking up at GTEAC3. We are now to a third account. So look that up, rejoin. That way you'll continue to get the reminders from our social media ladies of when our meetings are coming up, what they're about. And you can also forward that on and hopefully spread the word so we have more attendance out there. So I think that's all I have for you. I'm going to turn our program over to Roxanne Brown. She is with the district, and they will get started with their portion of the presentation, and then I'll see you at the end.
Hi, everyone. My name is Roxanne Brown. I'm the GT coordinator for Northside, and I'm here tonight with Ginger Brown, who is the GT IST for secondary GT programs. And Ginger's going to talk a little bit about our middle school program. If you haven't heard, our middle school program had a major change last year. It's been through several iterations over the last probably 20 years. And I think we're finally to a great place for our students as well as our staff. So our current model for the middle school GT program is called Innovative Thinkers. It is a class every day for our GT students. It has different curriculum at the 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. And so we are going to go through that with you tonight. So you learn a little bit about the program, and we also have 2 videos to share that we hope you'll enjoy that give you a little peek into what the program's like. So I'm going to turn the presentation over to Ginger and pull up our presentation for tonight. So Ginger. Oh,
Yes,
hold on.
hello.
Sorry. One more thing. If you have questions, if you'll look on the bottom of your screen, it says Q&A. The chat is not enabled, so you'll need to drop questions in the Q&A, and we will answer those at the end, or I might type an answer to reply while Ginger's talking tonight. All right. Sorry. Now, Ginger, it's all yours.
No problem. I was just gonna, say I'm Ginger Brown, and I am the IST for secondary programs, and our middle school program is pretty exciting with all of the amazing things that we're doing. So I'm excited to have an opportunity to kind of brag on our program and the things that we've created here in Northside. So as Roxanne mentioned, it is called Innovative Thinkers. And I don't know if, yes, are you gonna move that slide along for me, Ms. Brown?
I'm going to try to.
I'm sorry.
But I can't see my thing down here, so hold on.
It's too hard, no problem. I don't want to get off track,
There
you know?
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Sorry.
No problem. So yes, a little bit, here's kind of an overview of all of our services. Did you want to speak to that at all, Roxanne, or?
Well, so I think that probably most of our parents know, because we have a lot of elementary parents that are probably on the call, that in elementary we start with pull-out services, where the teachers are pulling out students for several hours during the week. We also have our MAC GT program at 59 campuses. That stands for Math and Clustering, where students are clustered together. We have enrichment opportunities at some campuses. And then we also have core MAC GT support, where our GT specialists are working with those MAC GT teachers to support them in the classroom. As I said, tonight we're going to talk about our Innovative Thinkers programs in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And next time we meet in November, we're going to be talking about our high school program. And high school is a little different because it becomes electives. So if you have a middle schooler that'll eventually be looking to high school, we'll be talking about GT Leadership 1, 2, and Independent Study Mentorship. That will be our focus for those.
Awesome. So at our comprehensive middle schools, we do offer Innovative Thinkers. And here's a cool little video that actually a little taste that kind of showcases the 5th to 6th grade transition a little bit and about what Innovative Thinkers looks like.
Guys, over here!
Education doesn't always come from a book.
Third letter, E.
Sometimes you can find it on the streets of downtown.
The San Fernando Cathedral is known for its Gothic Revival architectural style, and it's right behind you.
We have 9 different schools downtown today doing the San Antonio Amazing Race.
The Giles building was originally built in 1888.
They're going to all sorts of historical buildings downtown, including San Antonio City Hall, Bexar County Courthouse. There's a bunch of them down here.
In the water.
They are creating cardboard boats that they're going to actually have to put themselves into and race across 25 meters using only cardboard, duct tape, trash bags, and their wit.
Or in a computer code.
We're learning how to code them so that they can go around barrels like the rodeo.
Truth is, learning comes in all shapes and forms. something Northside's gifted and talented students find out every day.
It's so much fun. You get to work with your friends. There are hard challenges, but they're hard yet fun at the same time.
A place for students to get away from the traditional step-by-step learning process.
In GT, we don't lay any of those steps out. We don't tell them how to do it. We give them the problem and we give them materials, and they have to figure out what the problem is. They figure out what the solution is.
So here's the plan.
A process of trial and error, victories and failures that challenge young minds to work harder.
I like that because it helps us to find our own personalities, and it kind of helps us develop better as students.
With Northside's GT program, there are no limits.
I like to tell the kids that we're taste testing here in GT. They're getting a taste of art, they're getting a taste of science, a taste of engineering, a taste of math.
How to incorporate 60 degrees in every angle.
In just a very different way. That's the environment we want to build. We want to keep our Northside kids with us and enjoying the learning, because if we're not enjoying the learning, it doesn't stick.
Pretty awesome. You saw Lizette Ramirez now highlighted on that video, as well as Mr. Saul Cepeda. They were two of our pretty outstanding middle school specialists, and it's a joy to work with them. So, and innovative thinkers at our comprehensive middle schools, they are year-long dedicated courses where kids basically have opportunities to fail. That's really what they're doing, right? To think critically, to explore, create all of those soft skills, all of the 21st century skills. It's an opportunity for them to really get that project-based learning under their belt. So we've kind of grouped each of the years according to these strands that you see here. We actually start the year at all 3 grade levels with some art, and that is a missing piece with STEM that we don't always see. So you notice it makes STEAM when you add the A in there. So we do focus a lot on art and math, engineering, technology, science. That's woven throughout the year. In addition, there is an entrepreneurship lesson that occurs at each level. And of course, each of these projects that we start with in the 6th grade level kind of build upon each other. So by the time they're in 8th grade, they really have an understanding and an opportunity to apply the things that they've learned previously. We also incorporate leadership and leadership skills and research as well. Research tends to get a bad rap, but the way we've integrated it into the curriculum, it's very organic and authentic. We're not asking kids to kind of go in and write this long research paper or kind of do something that's just not really, developmentally appropriate for them at that age. And so instead, it's woven in a way that's really authentic. We, of course, include a lot of depth and complexity. Those elements that you've seen at the elementary level are incorporated throughout, and we also include some more of the content imperatives, so some of the things that the kids are not necessarily able to get to. That's a part of the framework with depth and complexity that sometimes at the elementary level, they're not able to kind of incorporate. That's something that's new and in addition to that we use at the middle school level. We also have those 21st century skills that I previously mentioned, things that are going to get them ready for their life in the future, college, career, critical thinking, being able to kind of navigate the world around them, being able to understand nuance, and being able to have those problem-solving skills are so important. Another piece that we include, we really try and look at the whole brain, is social emotional learning. I know our kids a lot of times as GT learners are so advanced academically, but socially they need a little bit more support. And so we've created a Mindful Monday, where actually each Monday of the week in all 3 grade levels, we have an opportunity for kids to actually sit and debrief and talk about what it means to be GT and what does that look like, and how can I ask for help and get support, or how can I role play maybe different situations, or even just being aware of my feelings, and being aware of them helps me be able to manage them. And so that social emotional piece we found to be really beneficial. Just like at the elementary classroom, our middle school specialists really want to facilitate this GT community. And the fact that they get to see their kids every single day in class really helps that as well. So it really does build this great family, and kids are able to take risks and fail, which is how they learn. And then a big piece of all of it is project-based learning. Almost all of our lessons and project experiences are as a response to some sort of real world question or a problem or a challenge. Everything is really authentic, and we really try and make it meaningful as well, because that's what sticks, right? When kids can connect to something, then they're able to make it their own. So for sixth grade, I would say this is probably the biggest transition as a fifth grader. Our elementary GT students are absolutely receiving performance reports, right? You get that once a semester, I believe, where you are able to kind of assess the skills and the things that they're getting in the GT classroom as an elementary student. Now, as a sixth grader, this GT class is a grade. It's a class that I go to every day, and grades are earned. And so that's a big transition, understanding the responsibility that comes with assignments, understanding that there are consequences if I don't get things finished or accomplished in time. That's a big part of that transition. And so I think that's been the biggest thing that we've seen with that move from fifth to sixth grade, is that suddenly I have to kind of take it seriously, and that if I don't, there will be ramifications. So grades are earned. They are 50% formative and 50% summative, which looks like lots of different things. But our summative grades are going to be based around rubrics and based around our projects. And formative grades tend to be those check-ins that kind of go along the way. In sixth grade, the GT class actually will replace the advisory class. So you can tell that it's definitely a community feel, because that teacher also is your advisor, and the fact that they're able to work with you and help you throughout your day. It's not just about the GT class, which is exciting. The focus for sixth grade is about themselves, the GT student, and how they fit into the world. Sixth grade is a big transition year. You're going from kind of being the big fish in a small pond to being the small fish in a big pond. And that can be hard. It can be a hard transition. We've built that in there to help students have an opportunity to learn about themselves, to grow, and to kind of step into who they want to be at middle school. It's a redefining moment for a lot of sixth graders. And so kind of helping them along that and navigate that has been a real pleasure, honestly, to see. The big specialized field trip at each grade level, we've tried to design experiences to create some equity across the district. So to allow not only an opportunity for every kid to be able to go and experience this amazing opportunity, but also for our kids to have an opportunity to interact with other GT students that are from other campuses. And so in the sixth grade level, the students are tasked with a pretty big project where they have to design a zoo. And so this year, the field trip that we've kind of secured for our sixth graders is a trip to the San Antonio Zoo. And that trip is meaningful. It's educational. They are actually going to gather research, actually on the early part of the project, so that they can really connect with what they're seeing and build that schema, so that then they can go in and then design their own zoo and have that connection to kind of help them alongside that. And so we're really excited. This is brand new for us this year in sixth grade, and we can't wait to see where it goes. Some of the projects and study that we have in sixth grade is the design a zoo, as I previously mentioned. We also have a big coding unit that happens. Sphero bolts are these great little round robots that are utilized throughout all three grade levels. And in sixth grade is where they get the introduction to Sphero. And we really take it slow with them. We really, we look at the introduction of what coding is, and we kind of speak to how to work with Sphero and how to code Sphero to do certain tasks. As previously mentioned, art is a huge piece. We actually begin the year with a self-exploration project through art, where students are able to kind of create a self-portrait, and it can look so many different ways. And so if you do follow us on social media, some of these things are being posted now, so you can kind of see, which is really exciting. We also have an interview podcast project where the students are tasked with interviewing a family member to learn more about themselves. Everything, again, goes back to who am I and what's my place in the world. And I think a lot of times our kids don't ask our parents, right? We don't necessarily know what they do and what they're up to. So it's kind of a nice way to bridge that gap a little bit. I mentioned as well the entrepreneurship project. In sixth grade, we follow that sort of Shark Tank model, where they are able to do a pitch and a proposal and then create a product, and kind of go through that whole panel even of to see, well, were you successful? Were you not? Am I going to vote yes, or are you going to, fall flat? And so that feedback is really important as well. Some of the research and the things that we do is with global goals, where if you're not familiar with those are from the United Nations, and they're basically this set of goals that they have set forth for us as a globe to make the world a better place. And so what our kids do is have an opportunity to kind of look at these global goals and then create a PSA surrounding that. And so they're integrating technology in different ways to kind of showcase and bring awareness to this goal. And then at the end of the year, we kind of finished with Rube Goldberg, which is just a really fun project-based way for them to explore engineering and science and art, math, all the STEAM. And they're able to kind of create some really fun and pretty outstanding projects. In 7th grade, our class actually takes the place of the English language arts block. So in 7th grade, usually it is a block class where it would be an hour and a half. And now instead, our 7th grade students are taking GT for 45 minutes of that, and then English language arts for another 45 minutes of that. So they are able to work with those English language arts teachers, and we have worked with those teachers as well to ensure that the curriculum that they're getting is compacted and is able to kind of make it in that 45 minutes, and then they're able to use that other time for innovative thinkers too. Just like with 6th grade, we look at the self. I look at who I am in my world. In 7th grade, our focus is on GT and our local community, and looking at how students, our 7th graders, can affect change and build community on their local campuses. This year, 7th grade is brand new curriculum. It's being presented this year, and already seeing the impact that community level has had on campuses is pretty astounding. The kids are coming up with really creative and exciting ways to bring in their peers and to share out and just kind of bridge, I guess, that idea of that we're not alone, that we have each other and that we can work together to kind of make things better. And that's really exciting to see. Our specialized field trip in 7th grade goes back to Spiros. Our Spiro bolts are so exciting, and it's something that's a huge part of everything that we're doing. And so this year, our 7th graders are going to have an opportunity to participate in the Texas Spiro Olympics. So more will be coming down soon, but we're really excited about that opportunity. Some units of study for 7th grade include art, but through the community, as well as our students play the stock market game, and they play it pretty well. We're doing real world research on stocks. We're looking at the current events. We're looking at local news. We're looking at national news. We're looking at world news to determine, okay, if this is happening, how would that affect stocks? If there's something coming up here soon at the end of October that's going to sell a lot of candy for Halloween, then maybe that's the stock that we want to maybe invest in now. So kind of helping our kids recognize that there are these loops that are kind of all connected, and that we are connected through that there's consequences kind of for every choice and every decision that's out there. So it's really exciting for our kids to play, and it's competitive. They're playing across other groups, with each other, but also across the state of Texas, or a region of Texas, I should say. And so it's pretty exciting to see how well our kids do. And some of our kids do better than some of their high school counterparts, for sure. So it's really exciting. Some other things that happen in 7th grade are debate. Our kids have an opportunity to debate, what's better, forks or spoons? And then, of course, into heavier topics as well. And so we kind of allow a space for them to learn how to disagree and to learn how to sort of spar and have that opportunity to go back and forth, but in a critical and in a positive manner. In addition, we have our Spiros and Spiro Olympics that are coming up. We have an entrepreneurship study with 7th grade as well, where they're looking at a product to make a change. And in other words, something to make it better. Something like an everyday problem that you have. Is there something that I can create to fix it, to make it better, which is exciting. And then we actually, which is really fun, brand new this year, we're finishing the year with space. We're looking at outer space. We're looking at the Artemis mission to Moon and to Mars. We have rocket launchers that the kids are going to be able to utilize and practice and just have fun with. And so we're really pumped. The space and Mars and all of that is on the forefront. I think it's starting to come back into the zeitgeist seeing much more of the rocketry and the things that are happening. It was just announced this week that Prada is going to be designing the Artemis mission uniforms. So it's definitely becoming more of a thing. And to think about that, our kids sitting, our middle schoolers sitting right now in the classroom, you know, and beyond to our elementary kids will one day be those astronauts is pretty exciting. So the fact that we can teach to that and speak to that is really fun. So in 8th grade, what this class replaces is the MAPS and COMAPS, or the ABDA class that they might be in. The difference with 8th grade is that this is a high school credit, and it does satisfy the speech requirement as well at the high school level. So we've taken a lot of the MAPS and COMAPS that they have done, that's a requirement for every 8th grader, or with AVID, and we've taken some of those skills and kind of just amped it up. And so our kids have an opportunity to practice those speeches, to practice that ability to communicate and to share. And we've really included a lot of opportunities for them to do that. The focus in 8th grade is on the global community. So if you kind of notice, we've scaffolded it up. 6th grade's about me, 7th grade is me and my local community. Now 8th grade, I'm looking at me in the world. How can I now affect change and build a global community? And then our specialized field trip for 8th grade actually culminates with boat races. And we saw a little bit of the video at the beginning, and we'll have a video here in a minute too that kind of talks more about the boat races and see. But it was our first year to try, and we were real nervous about it, but the kids just blew us out of the water, literally, and it was amazing. So some of the 8th grade units of study are, again, with art. We began the year with art in all 3 levels, but now in 8th grade, we're taking it one step further and looking at how you can bring awareness to activism through art. So we focus on a lot of change makers that use art, and we ask our kids to kind of, again, bring in that lens to their art. Now can I share a message through that? We also continue with Spheros in the 8th grade space. We look at research with change makers, and we look at how social media can be used for change making. Social media is not going away, so we've got to help our kids learn how to use it appropriately, and to be able to sort of leverage it to be able to make change and affect change that they want to see. The entrepreneurship lessons for 8th grade surround market days, where kids are actually designing and creating products to sell to their peers. And it kind of looks differently at different campuses, but we're really excited to see this space and to see the kind of just real world applications that they're able to make with that. In 8th grade, like we mentioned before, it is speech satisfies the speech requirement. It does take from MAPS and COMAPS. So because of that, we've included a lot of public speaking. There's a lot of opportunities for speeches, for presentations, and for practicing speaking in front of an audience, and looking at the different things that brings into the forefront. So looking at, the poise that you bring, the voice, all of the things that kind of go along with that. Mentioned the cardboard boat races at the end. That goes along with our STEAM units, where kids are getting to do some fun activities, and then they actually design the cardboard boat to race in the water. And then we also have a new unit this year with mock trials, and our students are going to have an opportunity for a month to immerse themselves into a trial, whether it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears or something along those lines. They're going to be able to take the role of every part of a trial, and have an opportunity to practice and to showcase that, which we're really excited about. So by having the content be like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, then now you're able to kind of focus on the process of the trial and look at all the different parts of it and how you present evidence and how you're able to kind of speak to different points. And so that's a really fun activity that we're excited to showcase this year. So here's that video on boat races.
From across the district they came, braving the heat for the chance at victory. A 4-day event that puts the skills of these 8th grade gifted and talented students from Northside to the test.
So it's something about 725 students out here at the natatorium.
Their mission to build a boat.
Using only cardboard, duct tape, trash bags, and their wit.
You have 1 hour. You may begin.
So here's the plan.
Now, that may seem simple, but there's more. The boats need to be sturdy enough to race 2 passengers across this pool. It's an event designed to challenge.
Whether it be critical thinking or problem solving, creativity is a huge part of this. And obviously, too, being able to monitor and adjust. And recognize that there are real-world limitations.
There's plenty of science, technology, engineering, and math, but out here, the M in STEM has a double meaning.
So magic, that's what the M is going to be for, magic today. We're going to see who's going to get across this pool.
Construction time is up. Now it's time to put these boats to the test. Some succeed, and some fail. But there are no losers.
I think seeing a boat kind of after an hour and a half of work, get into the water and immediately sink, it can be disheartening, but it's also a huge learning experience.
Find your rhythm. Because more important than crossing the finish line is the experience. An experience these kids will remember for a lifetime.
That no matter what, we can learn, we can grow, we can fail forward.
Absolutely. So the programs with Innovative Thinkers were at our comprehensive middle schools. Did you want me to speak to this, Roxanne, or do you want to pop back in? Or
I can pop back in because we are getting a lot of questions about this in our Q&A. So we have in Northside, we have 3 middle school magnet programs. We have Hobby is the health science magnet. It's only at 6th grade. Jones Middle School has a STEM magnet, and Zachary Middle School has global communications, cybersecurity, and information technology magnet. So students that attend a magnet program, when you choose that program, you're making a choice that you are going into a specialized program that has special required courses for students in that magnet program. And because those special courses exist, those students don't have room to be taking Innovative Thinkers. And so I know that's hard for parents because elementary, everything's pretty much open to everybody. But when you get to middle school and you start making some of these choices, it's not the same. So students that are in the middle school magnets that are GT receive their GT services through their specialized magnet courses and curriculum. And their curriculum should be differentiated by their teachers. And all the teachers that are assigned to the Northside magnet programs are to complete the state mandated 30 hours of GT training that like all of our specialists have. And it's the same training that like our high school teachers have that teach advanced classes, honors classes, AP, dual credit, on-ramps, all of those types of things. So I encourage you to ask if you're considering a magnet program to, really ask questions at your magnet about what are the specialized magnet courses that my student is taking, what kind of differentiation happens in the classroom, so that you are aware of the differences between the programs. Ginger, is there anything you would like to add to that?
No, I think that was well said.
All right. Okay, let's see if I can get down here. There we go. Nope, wrong way.
I know, it's hard.
There we go. All right. So that is actually the end of what we have to say about middle school tonight. If you have some questions and you'd like to drop them into the Q&A, I'm going to actually stop sharing so I can see the Q&A better. Let's see. Drag this over here and see what other questions. So I have a parent asking about what type of curriculum writing assistance and support do Magnet GT teachers have? So first off, there are not special GT teachers at the Magnet, and their curriculum was written by the curriculum teams that wrote the middle school Magnet curriculum. So if you have questions specifically about the Magnet curriculum, I would reach out to the directors, the Magnet directors or the Magnet program coordinators, and speak to them about what type of differentiation they're able to offer. So a parent asked, if a student goes from a Magnet middle school to a regular public school, can they re-enter GT? So a point to make sure that everybody understands is even if your child is attending a Magnet program, they are still GT. They still retain their GT identification in the Northside system. That never goes away. But if a child chooses to no longer attend a Magnet and they choose to go back to their home campus, yes, they would go into the Innovative Thinkers class.
Do you see that one about feedback?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what classes.
I think because they're missing advisory and then they're missing language arts and then maps and commaps. And so we've actually kind of spoken to that a little bit. So in 6th grade, if you're missing advisory, I hope your GT specialist, that GT teacher, is somebody that you feel like you can go to, and that would be that person for you. You still would have access to counselors and everybody else on the campus. I think it's a better use of their time, in all honesty, for them to be in Innovative Thinkers. In 7th grade, we have had a little bit of issues with some kids that suddenly had an hour and a half to 45 minutes. And so that can be an issue, but again, we've been working with the language arts teachers. We've been really trying to, last year was the first year, right, that we did that. And so because of that, it kind of created just some unclarity. And so the fact that we've been able to I think we've got all the wrinkles pretty much smoothed out at this point. But if you are worried about that, if like your kiddo's not strong in language arts or whatnot, I would reach out and talk to those teachers and see. Again, our DT teachers are there to support, and those English teachers are there to support. And it's not so much that they are going to have to be required to make up that missing work. That's not what's happening at all. They've redesigned the curriculum to be able to fit in that time and to meet the kids' needs. So they're not having to make up work that they missed. If that makes sense. And then in the 8th grade space with missing maps and comm apps, we did get a little bit of feedback last year that we needed to include more support for the transition to high school. Just as if we've been having our kids, and our middle school specialists are going to come down to the 5th grade space and speak to our kids. High school will also come down to the 8th grade space and speak to our kids. And so we've incorporated a lot more of that, just like maps and comm apps does. And so I think we've tried to heed the feedback as much as possible, and we are always willing to work and partner with these teachers and different areas to make sure that our kids are successful. That's the bottom line. We want them to be successful.
Oh, we just got some more that populated.
Do you want to speak to that about?
So we have a parent asking about being proactive and preparing your child for middle school. So in elementary school, your children do receive feedback from their teachers. There are rubrics as to what they're working on, but it is different because it's not a grade on their report card. And when it comes to middle school, it does become a grade on their report card. I don't think we really have a big problem with grades unless your child just is refusing to do work or not turning in work. I think that most of our kids are successful, but the one thing that we've talked a lot about with our teachers, and we want them to talk a lot about with students, is productive struggle. that, like Ginger talks about in the video, when it comes to the boat races, when it comes to coding the spheros, they're not going to always be successful the first time. And that is something that kids struggle with when they've always been successful. They've always been one of the smartest ones in their classroom. And now they're in a class where everybody's on the same playing field as them. It does become a challenge, and they have to learn to work together, and they have to learn to fail, and they have to figure out, what do they do when they fail? How do they embrace that? Like, how do they handle that? And I know you might think that that is a challenge. Sometimes it's hard as a parent to let your kid fail or watch them fail. But as an educator, I would tell you it's much better for them to have that opportunity to fail now and learn how they react to that, versus the first time they're really challenged is in college. Right? You want them to have those experiences before then. And I think it's important to have those experiences before they get into high school, because there's some really hard classes when they get into high school. And some of them will really struggle with those classes. So learning how to deal with that at a younger age, I think is very important.
I also think it's cool that if you are coming through Northside, right, that you're not going to be totally removed from your peers. So if I'm a 5th grade at a campus, I'm going to go with my peers to Innovative Thinkers. And now I have the safe spot in 6th grade where I have my friends that are GT and that we're able to be together and that we're able to share it. Of course, others are coming in as well, but the idea that you're not alone, right? And that I have support and I have somebody in my corner, no matter what. My GT teacher has my back throughout the whole day. That's so meaningful. And I think that trumps at times, many of the worries and struggles that our kids have, just knowing that they have that safe spot that they can go and just be, and that I'm going to be supported. And our GT teachers at the middle school level are absolutely phenomenal. You cannot, I am blown away every day with what I see and with what they're doing. And so, as you saw even in the video with our teachers there, Veronica Cepeda is another one. She was the one with the big whistle at the end. Our teachers they just care about your kids, and they're all about, helping them be the best that they can be and be most successful. So we're just so blessed to work with such a great group of teachers.
So we have a parent asking about, do counselors receive additional training on SEL and GT students? So all counselors are required to complete a state training of 6 hours about GT students. I'm sure that they have plenty of training in SEL. And many counselors were teachers before they were counselors and have received lots of GT training over all their years in the classroom. So I'm sure that they know lots about that.
And you've partnered, and Roxanne's partnered with the counseling department as well on several instances and has shared about these processes and these policies with them. And so we're definitely, we all work together for sure. And especially with course card selection coming up for your 5th graders, right? Like I mentioned previously, all of our middle school specialists will be coming to every single elementary school. So you can tell your kiddos, right, to be on the lookout. That's going to be coming up in the month of December, right around when course card selections happen. And so as you all know, as a GT kiddo, you're automatically enrolled into Innovative Thinkers, unless of course you're applying for a magnet, and that's a different process. But it'll be really exciting for those middle school teachers to come down, and then the kids themselves will get a little taste of what Innovative Thinkers is like. So kind of what we shared with you all today, these teachers will have an opportunity to share with the students in the classroom. And so just developing that vertical alignment, I think, is really important. So that way too, your 5th graders know who their teacher is going to be before they even walk into that door. So already that transition is so hard, but I have a safe place. I have somebody that I know and I can go to right away. That's huge. As a parent, that makes me happy.
I would encourage you to talk to your students about the opportunities in middle school and let them know that in December, these teachers are going to be coming and visiting them at the elementary school in their GT class, and to have them think about what types of questions would they like to ask these middle school teachers, so that when they come, they've got something they want to ask, something that they want to know. It may not be about GT. It might just be about, What's lunch like in middle school?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of them care about.
Yeah.
Where do I wait in the morning when I get to school? Those are a lot of the questions that even when I was a high school specialist and would go visit middle schoolers, they wanted to know about lunch. So we would talk about lunch, and we would talk about how many minutes do you have to get from class to class. So those specialists can talk to all those kinds of concerns that your middle schooler might have. And you know, the transition from 5th to 6th, it can be a challenging one, just like 8th to 9th can be. So talk to your kids about it. Have them think about what types of questions they might like to ask the specialist when they come, because they're going to have some nice, not one-on-one time, but small group to one time when those specialists come in December. Are there any other questions that anybody would like to put in our Q&A? You know, we're really proud of everything that this program has accomplished in the last year and however many months we've been. It feels like it's February already, but I know it's only October. Ginger worked really hard with our teachers to write the curriculum at all 3 of these levels, and has just worked really well with this team. They're a great team. They really embraced the change. They worked hard to make the change, and we've asked a lot of them in the last 2 years. And I think if you have your child with one of these teachers, you will see what great people, what great educators they are, and advocates for your child.
Absolutely.
Someone is asking, will there be any in-person meetings? If you are referring to GTEAC meetings, we have the one that is in February. That will be Dr. Kraft. He will be at GTEAC, and we will send more out about that in the future. And then, of course, our last meeting of the year is always in person. It'll also be at GTEAC. And we will be sending out, hopefully you've been receiving newsletters from your GT specialist on your campus. Elementary's done it for years. Middle school's now doing it. High school are doing it. And so you should receive your GTEAC information through that, plus social media. If you follow social media, that comes from, we have district social media as well as GTEAC social media. So I encourage you to look for that. I'm going to let Ginger tell you what social media we have for the district, and she's putting stuff on there all the time. So if you want to see what kids do across the district, I encourage you to look at it. So Ginger, you want to tell everybody what those
Absolutely. We're on Twitter at NISD GTAA. We're on Instagram at NISD GTAA, and we're on Facebook, which I believe is just Northside Gifted and Talented. But all of that stuff is on our website as well. So you're welcome to go to the Northside website and check out our amazing resources that we have for you as well. We have a whole parent area just for you guys. So with different opportunities and clicks and resources as well. So definitely follow. Our teachers are doing really cool things. So it's kind of neat to see the products too that our kids are creating right now.
And Tracy or Rebecca, do you want to mention the social media that we have for GTEAC?
Yes, so go ahead, Tracy.
Nope. We've had a great, Liz has stepped up, and so she's been really following us on Facebook. So you can find us on Facebook at GTEAC. And then she has also gotten us on Instagram, also NISD GTEAC, and you can follow us on Twitter at NISD GTEAC. So Liz has been doing a great job updating that information regularly, and you should also get that on our flyers when we send those out with the links, so you can always see it on there as well.
So if you missed the beginning portion of the meeting and you don't know who Liz is, she is our new historian, which is a position that we added at the end of the year last year. And as Tracy said, she has really stepped up, and she's getting us linked up with everything. So communications that come from the district through Ginger and Roxanne, we're also sharing that information and trying to keep that communication everywhere, so you can find out about GT in the district everywhere. I can tell you that it was amazing. Thank you, Ginger, for your great presentation, and Roxanne for answering questions. If you're new, if you're from elementary, if you've got kids in elementary, or you're going into middle school next year, and all this is new to you, I can't even begin to tell you how many changes we've had, because my daughter is a senior this year. Excuse me. And so it's just amazing to see how far we've come, how many things have happened, and especially even with the magnet schools coming along. But I can't speak highly enough about public schools, because there's been a couple of times that we've started to drift off a little bit, and we've always come back because of all the amazing things that GT has continued to offer. So if you think that elementary is great and middle school is going to be amazing, wait till you get to high school. So for those of you that have high school students, our next meeting in November that we're going to talk about high school things, I'm very excited. My daughter's in ISM this year, and she has an amazing GT teacher in there, Miss Beck, and she is already just so excited, telling me all the things that they've got going on. Of course, they've got mentors. She's going out and meeting with mentors. Today, she gave a huge speech that she had to have memorized that was 5 minutes long. So just being able to get in front of people and talk and really know what they're saying and presenting well is just amazing. So GT has come a long way. I've been with this organization since my daughter was in first grade.
Wow.
So also,
you've seen it all.
I'm the dinosaur of the group. We've also come a long way. So we're really working on improving. I will be here this year as your president, next year as your president. So I hope to work with my team and continue to make some improvements so you guys can continue to have the resources you need between us and what the district offers, and know how wonderful public school is and GT is. Last thing before I let you go, I want to mention, in case you are a middle school parent, hopefully you heard from your GT teachers or your children that we had a t-shirt contest going on. Every year we do a fundraiser, and so this was what we chose to be our fundraiser for this year. We had the t-shirt contest. We had a overwhelming number of submissions, and so I am getting all those together. We'll present them to a group, and we will all vote on them, and then we will have that t-shirt that we are going to present in order to, we'll have them printed, and we'll have those for sale for the public. So anyone can buy a GT t-shirt that wants one, and that's what we're going to use to fund our grant that we give each year, which we'll present in April at that last meeting that we will have in person. So look forward to seeing all of them. I haven't gotten through all of them, but I look forward to seeing all those designs. And we will let you know what t-shirt is the winner. That person will also get a little prize for their effort. And then we'll get those t-shirts printed and get them ready for sale. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Again, please take a look at our social media. Don't forget the next upcoming meetings. And if you have any questions between now and then, you can always email one of us or contact through the district site, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks so much and have a great evening.
We'll see you on November 9th.
Bye.